The second pick will be made by the Charlotte Hornets.
A win is a win. A win is a win. I don't care what y'all.
Listen, you got to understand something. As a lifelong Hornets fan, wins don't exactly come around here real often. So you got to take them when you can get them. And I hear Hornets fans all over social media mad and upset because, oh yeah, we didn't get the number 1 overall pick. And like, yeah, it would have been great to have the number 1 overall pick. It would have been great for us to take Victor Wembanyama and slide him alongside LaMelo Ball and see the Melo-Wemby combo. That would have been awesome. But honestly, to have the second pick in this draft is incredible. Because, first of all, we weren't supposed to have the 2nd overall pick. I think we were supposed to have the 3rd or 4th pick. So we slid up, which is big. And, I mean, we could be like the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons got absolutely screwed in this year's NBA draft lottery. I mean, they were supposed to be a top 3 team, and they fell to number 5. And that's just unfortunate. No other way to put it other than that. And I'm not going to lie, I was kind of expecting it to happen to the Hornets because that kind of stuff happens all the time. So, like, let's just be happy. And honestly, on a side note, I'm kind of happy that Wemby isn't going to the Rockets because, like, they have absolutely they have no plan. They don't deserve him right now. So now the Hornets actually have a decision to make for once in their lifetime, and it's that, do we take Scoot Henderson out of G League Ignite and move on from Terry Rozier and put him in the backcourt with LaMelo Ball, or do we give LaMelo Ball and Mark Williams a wing in Alabama's Brandon Miller and then do like a guard wing big like trio? It's a decision we have to make, and I'm seeing a lot of pros and cons, so let's just list off some pros and cons for both of these young men. Starting out with the pros, let's start with Scoot Henderson. First off, he's a straight athlete. He's only 6'2", but he has a 6'9" wingspan and an incredible vertical jump. He dunks with ease, and he screams pro potential. He also so happens to have a very good mid-range game that I don't think gets talked about enough. I think it's extremely underrated. Really good finishing skills around the rim and some really crisp, really nice handles. And another pro for Scoot Henderson is that he's been in the G League Ignite program for 2 years, which is longer than most, so he has more pro experience, and he's still really, really young, so he's not like losing that age to play in G League Ignite. He's still extremely young, and he really does just scream pro potential. And then for Brandon Miller, his game screams a guard in a wing's body. 6'9" with all the major skills of a modern NBA guard, handles, finishing around the rim, and a lethal three-point shot. And I mean, very lethal. He's one of the best shooters in the country. Miller was the best freshman in America, and many people believe he was the best player in America. He averaged 18.8 points and 8 boards a game, leading Alabama to a SEC regular season and tournament championship. He won SEC Player of the Year, and he led Alabama to the overall number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, and then the whole Sweet 16 loss. Miller reminds many to the likes of Kevin Durant with his frame and ability ratio, and really, I think he's going to be an incredible player just with his shooting ability alone. That's what wows me so much, is like just seeing him knock down shots so quick. I mean, his release is on the money, and so that's really impressive. He's a great player who has every skill set you would want in an NBA wing. Now, as much as I would love to just talk good about these players, we have to talk about the cons. Once again, we're going to start with Scoot Henderson. Like I said, he's 6'2". And while, yes, he has a 6'9" wingspan, he is still 6'2". That is undersized for an NBA player in 2023. And let's just say that he has not exactly been praised for his defensive ability. However, what worries me more, because like, who cares about defense? The defense is a joke in the NBA right now. The biggie for me with his skill set is that Henderson shot under 30% from the 3-ball in both of his seasons in G League Ignite. Another problem that I have with Scoot Henderson, it doesn't even come with him as a player. It just comes with the whole G League Ignite program in general. It's that I don't for real see overwhelming proof that G League Ignite is setting up players for success in the NBA. I mean, we have seen players completely fall off of draft boards by going to G League Ignite, and the players who stayed up on the draft board, such as Jalen Green, he's kind of underperformed for me. I mean, I made a comment like on YouTube 2 years ago, and I was like, y'all can come back to this in like 4 years when Jalen Green is the best player out of this class. Now, I know it's still early, but I haven't seen that one bit from Jalen Green, and Honestly, he just looks like an ISO player that needs to have the ball in his hands, and that's unfortunate because it doesn't look like he's wanting to play like an NBA player. And then Jonathan Kuminga, who rose to 7th overall in 2021 by the Golden State Warriors. We haven't seen him on the floor enough. I just haven't seen what he can do at the NBA level, so I can't say if G League Ignite worked for him, but honestly, the ratio is that it's not working as opposed to taking a normal college route. So that worries me a little bit about Scoot Henderson. Now, for Brandon Miller, this kid showed that he still has room to grow in the Sweet 16 game against San Diego State, a game where Alabama was heavily favored. And honestly, Miller kind of fizzled out when they needed him the most, shooting just 3 of 19 from the floor and 1 of 10 from 3, scoring just 9 points. And honestly, he just had an off night. He had one of those nights that many freshmen go through. It just hit him a little harder because it was in the NCAA tournament. So yeah, that's something that has been brought up a lot. I mean, it's really unfortunate because all things were rolling for Brandon Miller. He was firing on all cylinders, and that game kind of threw him off of many boards from 2nd to 3rd, and I saw one that even had him as low as 6. I don't think he'll drop to 6. I think he's going 2 or 3. Another concern I see surrounding the 20-year-old from Antioch, Tennessee is his size. He's skinny, which, I mean, it's becoming a theme for these wings that play like guards. I really don't see this as a huge concern in this case because I believe that it really won't affect him. His play style does not require a heavy build. I mean, he plays like a guard. He does not need a bunch of weight on him. I mean, if he wants to add some weight, that's going to help him a lot, and he can keep his mobility. I think that'll be great, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a concern. But I have seen that on many boards on a reason why not to take Brandon Miller is his frame as far as weight goes. And then finally, I would say this is probably the biggest concern with Brandon Miller. It's unfortunate, but it's his off the court stuff. I'm not going to get in it too much, but let's just say that Brandon Miller's going to have a big target his first year in the league with the whole gun incident. But like I said, I'm not going to go into it anymore past that. So that's the cons for Brandon Miller. So now, you might ask me, MacArthur, as a Hornets fan, where do you stand on Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller? And I'm going to be honest, I really don't know. I am torn between both of these young men because they both seem like phenomenal players that have a serious, great ceiling that can change an NBA franchise forever. So you really can't go wrong with either of them at this point. But right now, I'm just trying to celebrate that the Hornets have the 2nd overall pick. Anyways, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please show by hitting the like button and subscribing for more content just like this. It absolutely makes my day, and it helps me out a ton with analytics. Comment down below, Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller, or if you're a Hornets fan, how do you feel about getting the 2nd overall pick? Until next time, I want you to have an awesome day, and I'll see y'all later.